Okay, this is Dharma talk on the expansion of the universe. And this will actually be, I'm hoping to do a couple of Dharma talks on this. So this will be kind of like the first part. That's the intention. And hopefully we get to the second part here in a little bit. But a question I want to put forward here is, what does it mean to live in an expanding universe? What does it mean to live in an expanding universe? And what scientists have taught us, what they're coming to see, is that you can actually find an equation for the rate of expansion of the universe. So this goes, if we were to trace back all matter to a single point, then there must have been an expansion out from that single point. And scientists have managed to find the equation for that rate. And if it had been a millionth of a percentage faster or slower in either direction, the universe as we know it would cease to exist. All right, so what does that mean? What does that mean for us as Buddhist practitioners or practitioners of the Dharma, whether we call ourselves Buddhist or not? So for Buddhism, the universe is equated with our very minds. Our minds create the world, and our mind is not separate from the universe. What we see is a creation of our mind from a Buddhist perspective. Think about this. Without the ability to cognize, without the ability to think, we would not be able to have any understanding of the world. Our ability to think colors the way that we see the world. The way that we think about the world colors the way that we see the world. The way that our eyes perceive the world, in a sense, gives us information about the world. And we're not looking through totally clear lenses when we're using our eyes. We know that our eyes are different. Some people are colorblind, for example. They may not be seeing the same things in terms of color. There's also differences with our ability to hear. So what is this universe that we're living in? Our mind, our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind all affect the way that we see the world. So when a scientist says that the universe is expanding, what is this saying about our own minds? So Buddha says it's possible for the mind to expand so much so as to enter the entire cosmos. Now, just get your mind wrapped around that if you can. The Buddha said that it's possible for the mind to expand so much so as to enter the entire cosmos, and for the entire cosmos to enter into a single human body. Right, just get your mind wrapped around that. Listen to this verse, these two verses from the Avatamsaka Sutra. This is one of my absolute favorite sutras here, the flower ornaments scripture, or the Avatamsaka Sutra. It says, the child of Buddha with an all-pervading body can go to the lands in all directions, liberating all the oceans of living beings, entering into all the parts of the cosmos. Entering into all particles of the cosmos, the body is endless and undifferentiated, omnipresent as space. It expounds the great teaching of the realization of thusness. Have you ever had an experience where you know this intuitively on some level? Let's take a moment to look at, where are we? Where would we say we are? Now, Avatamsaka Sutra also says, let me back up a second. Think about that question for a second. Without thinking too much about it, where would you say that we are? without thinking about it, where would you say that we are? I would guess that for most of us, we would say we're in Iowa, if that's where we're living right now, or in the United States, or on the earth. Maybe we would go out that far. I think we're earthlings. We live in the United States. We might think about our address. The Avatamsaka Sutra says, the ocean of lands of the 10 directions is inconceivable. So this is another way of saying that we have no clue where we are. We don't know. We don't know where we are. We're in an unconceivable realm. Yet we live in the relative world that gives us an address, right? This is where we are. We look into our world and our planet, and our predominant worldview is that we live on Earth and that the Earth is in space. So I want to take a look at what does it mean to live on the Earth. We'll look at another time, what does it mean to live in space? But what does it mean to live on the Earth? And I want to suggest to you that the first of the Eightfold Path, the Noble Eightfold Path, is missing here. The first spoke of the Eightfold Path is right view. So when we say we live on the earth, or we live at a certain address, we're missing right view, according to the Buddha. Wrong view is to think that we live on the earth and the earth is in space. And so let's look at why is this wrong view? We all share it, right? This is the relative view, but it's also, so in some ways it's not exactly wrong, but in other ways it's a view of a dualistic view. So Buddha taught that the path of enlightenment relies on what's called right view for its foundation. If the way that we see the world on a fundamental level is wrong, then we have some adjustments that need to be made. The lenses through which we're looking need to be updated. Our vision may have been correct as a society maybe 100 or 200 years ago would make sense. This view of living on the earth maybe would make sense for some people in our society 100 or 200 years ago, but it no longer applies to today based on what we're learning from scientists. Evolutionary biologists have helped us to envision a world where we are all descendants of a single cellular organism. And it's not just we as humans, but also animals, plants, fish, algae, all life on Earth that as we know it today descends from a single cellular organism. And this is a really, I think it's needless to say, it's an amazing way of thinking. Humans, we have trillions of cells in our body, each with its own ability to know what to do. Just take that in. Our little self is not the director. Just we think that we're directing our bodies, but we're not telling our cells what to do. We're not telling our heart to pump or our liver to clear out the toxins in our body. We don't do that. We don't tell our lungs to breathe. We don't tell our muscles or bones to grow or to decompose. They do this on their own. And we think of ourselves as one, but on a biological level, we are actually trillions, all working in sync. We think of ourselves as one, but on a conscious level, on a consciousness level, we are billions of human beings interacting with each other. Kind of like a network of neurons, kind of like each human being is like one neuron on the body or in the body of planet Earth. Let's kind of take that in for a second. We're each neurons, each of us are part of the neural network of human beings connected all throughout the planet. And so in a sense, we're like the brains of this planet. We are the Earth in the form of of its consciousness layer. So this is not so new. Actually, this idea isn't so new. It's according to cosmologists like Brian Swim. He says human consciousness is a layer of the earth, just like rocks are a layer of the earth. So in early earth, we have rocks that emerged out of the molten core, like a layer was formed. There's a hydrosphere, the water layer, the oceans that cover the earth. There's also an atmosphere, the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and other gases layer that covers the earth. There's the ozone layer. And he says that human consciousness is also, is a layer. It's what connects us as individuals with all other humans. Let's listen to this verse from the Avatamsaka Sutra. All lands are in my body, and so are the Buddhas living there. This kind of gets your mind. All lands are in my body, and so are the Buddhas living there. So the Buddhas, plural, are in every single one of our cells. Right? So it's part of our function as human beings to wake up, to be that part of the earth community that is awakened. This is not something special for a particular Buddha that woke up 2,500 years ago. This is, in a sense, our destiny is to wake up. As what does it mean to wake up? To serve one another, to have compassion, to love, kindness, but also that wisdom element, a non-dual thinking. So humans have the potential to be this awakened aspect of the earth. And in that sense, we don't live on the earth, but we are the earth's consciousness waking to itself. Right. Thank you.